Awesome. All right, Colin, next project.
Yeah. So I imagine some of the inspiration for this team was that we have our Chicago winter coming up. So a lot of cold, dark days, and it might make you want to get away. And maybe if you just want to get away rather than have a specific destination in mind, this app would be the kind of thing you'd go looking for. They have a really cool visualization for tracking price and location data on flights. And to describe more of that visualization in the graph, I'm going to give the floor to June to tell you about it.
Thank you, Colin. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joon. I'm standing here with my group mates, Finn, Ashish, and Tim. If you had a $2,000 budget, where would you go? Hmm. We thought it would be helpful to visualize a travel cost in a map. So we built an application called Getaway. In Getaway, the price map displays the distance based on the flight ticket price. The relative destinations of the directions, the different colors, they represent different continents. And most importantly, the different size of bubbles reflect price per kilometer. So if a user wants to get away as far as possible at a low cost, the user would choose a destination with a bigger size of bubble. Also, a geographical map can be helpful to determine destinations that are at cheap cost, where a lighter colors represent cheaper cost. Next, our friend Finn will show us how he uses Getaway to plan his trip.
Thanks, June. So I've got a vacation coming up and I'd like to see where I can go on a $2,000 budget. I'll set the budget to $2,000 and I'll name our trip vacation. I'll be departing from Chicago on February 1st of next year. I see some cheap flights to Europe, one to Norway. Looks like there's another one to Spain. Oh, Vienna. I've always wanted to go to Austria, and that's a great price. I'll add that to my trip. Notice how the map reorients to show flights from Vienna. I'm going to set the date to February 9th because I'd like to spend a whole week in Austria. From Austria, I see some cheap flights to Asia, one to South Korea, and it looks like another one to China, and that's a really great deal. 476 is awesome. I'll add that to my trip as well. I think I'll spend the rest of my trip in China, so I'll set the departure date to February 9th or February 13th, and I'll look for a flight home to Chicago on the flight list on the left. That's a really good deal to O'Hare, so I'm going to add that to my flight trip as well. From here, I'm set to go. I'm ready to check out, and I'll hand it off to Ashish, who can take us from here.
Thank you, Finn. So after Finn plans his trip, now's the time to purchase the trip. So Finn clicks on checkout button, and he can see the list of flights, and you can also see total trip cost. So once Finn is sure to go ahead and purchase the trip, he clicks on purchase button, and he can see a pop-up to enter his payment details. So Finn enter his email ID, his credit card number, and other payment details, and click on pay button. Once he clicks on pay button, he can see a notification on right panel saying that he has purchased the trip successfully. Since trip is saved in Finn's account, he can come back anytime and he can see previously purchased trips. So for example, he has purchased a vacation trip recently. He can see that. So once he clicks on vacation trip, he can see the list of flights on right panel. And he can also see how his trip looks on world map. So when Finn clicks on origin airport or departure airport of a flight, he can see how the map sent us to clicked airport. Similarly, he can click on origin or departure airport of all the flights and visualize his trip travel map. Now I'll hand over to Tim. He'll talk about the challenges we have faced while developing the application.
Thank you, Ashish. So one of the things we had to do was filter and display a lot of data to the user. And many of our components needed the same data displayed in different ways. And to manage this, we used Apollo and GraphQL to manage the data, the database, to the front end. For the price map, we use Victory.js, which is a library using React and D3 to provide interactive data visualizations. On the geographic map, we use Mapbox.gl to render the map itself, as well as data layers, which were computed using Turf.js, a geospatial library. Some future features we wanted to add included maybe cross-country road trips or ride sharing, and maybe activities and events. We really enjoyed making this app and hope you have fun exploring what you could do with it, and visit us at getawayexplore.herokuapp.com. Thank you for listening.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay, so I've never seen that one, the the data viz one where like the geometry covering the maps. I thought it was really cool to explore like where you could go. That being said, as a new father, the idea of like, oh, let me just go however far this will take me is like such a alien idea to me, but it's a cool
Yeah.
it's a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's well implemented. I know the team also solved some interesting challenges with D3 and React working together.
I'm excited to see. I think we're seeing more GraphQL interest in full stack projects. I think that's something that will. I'm not quite sure how big it is yet overall, but I do think it's one of those technologies that we're keeping an eye on.
Yeah, nice work, guys.